The greatest battle you will ever fight is not against the world, it's against yourself. And until you win that war within, you will be a prisoner in a life you were born to conquer. We live in a world that teaches us to fight for everything: success, recognition, validation. But the real war isn't out there, it's inside. Until you master you, the noise of life will master you. Today, I'm going to show you how overcoming yourself is the key to overcoming everything that stands in your way. Let's dive in. The hardest enemy you will ever face is not the competition around you. It is the conflict within you. It's not the critics in the stands. It's the voice of fear whispering in your soul when no one else can hear it. It's not the obstacles outside, it's the hesitation, the excuses, the doubts that silently sabotage your steps. The outside world is loud, but the loudest battles roar in the silence of your own heart. Fear will talk you out of your destiny long before failure ever could. Doubt will chain you to a life of mediocrity even when greatness is within reach. Laziness will convince you that tomorrow is good enough when you know deep inside that today is the only promise you have. These are not circumstances that happen to you. They are assassins that live within you. They dress themselves up as comfort. They disguise themselves as wisdom. They sound reasonable, but their mission is clear: to destroy your future from the inside out. If you do not defeat these weaknesses within, you will be defeated by the challenges without. The storms of life don't destroy strong houses, they destroy the cracks in weak ones. The pressure of life doesn't break you, it reveals where you were already broken. And if you spend your life trying to control everything around you but refuse to conquer what is going on inside you, you will find yourself exhausted, frustrated, and constantly falling short of what you were born to achieve. You will think the problem is the people, the environment, the circumstances, when the real battle was always within. Real success is not the fruit of perfect conditions. It is the harvest of a conquered soul. It is when you can look at fear and move anyway. It is when you can feel the doubt and still choose to believe. It is when you are tempted by comfort. You don't need to change the world first. You don't need to fix the economy first. You don't need every person in your life to understand you, support you, or believe in you. You need to change the mirror first. Until you change what you see when you look at yourself, you will keep trying to fix what was never your real enemy. You can have all the opportunities in the world and still miss them if you do not fix your vision. You can have all the resources, the connections, the platforms, and still sabotage yourself if you do not deal with the invisible battles inside. The hardest enemy is not out there in the world, it is right there in the mirror. But hear me today, you are not powerless. You are not a victim. You are not at the mercy of your fears or your doubts or your past. You are powerful enough to overcome yourself. And when you do, when you finally win the war within, nothing outside of you will have the strength to defeat you ever again. You will never overcome what you are willing to tolerate. What you permit, you promote. What you tolerate, you validate, and what you refuse to confront will continue to control you. Discipline is not an act of cruelty against yourself. It is an act of honor toward your destiny. It is not punishment, it is positioning. Discipline sets you in alignment with the greatness that has already been placed inside you. Every day you wake up, you have a choice to follow your feelings or to follow your purpose. Feelings fluctuate, emotions rise and fall, but purpose remains. Purpose does not bow to convenience, purpose demands discipline. The man or woman who learns to master themselves, to bring their emotions, their habits, and their desires under subjection is the one who will carry the crown of victory. Discipline is the daily decision to rule your emotions, to rule your mind, to rule your appetites. It is the quiet act of strength when nobody is watching, the determination to keep moving even when motivation has left the room. Discipline whispers when the world screams. It says, stay steady, stay focused, stay true. If you can govern yourself, you can govern your future. If you can lead yourself when no one is applauding, you will one day lead others when everyone is watching. Leadership doesn't begin in public, it begins in private. It is the private battles, the hidden victories, the unseen moments of obedience that build the foundation for public greatness. Greatness is not handed to the most talented. It is not reserved for those born with privilege or charisma. Greatness is given to the disciplined. It is entrusted to those who are willing to do what is hard consistently without excuse. Talent will get you noticed, but only discipline will make you trusted. Passion may get you started, but only discipline will finish the race. In the kingdom of destiny, emotion is not enough, vision is not enough, potential is not enough. Only discipline has the power to turn dreams into reality. The reason most people never fulfill their calling is not because they were not chosen. It's because they never chose discipline. They wanted the crown without carrying the cross. They wanted the reward without enduring the refining. But discipline refuses shortcuts. Discipline embraces the process, knowing that every sacrifice, every hardship, every moment of obedience is shaping a character that can carry the weight of the calling. You don't stumble into mastery. You don't drift into excellence. You build it moment by moment, choice by choice, sacrifice by sacrifice. There is no destiny without discipline. There is no mastery without mastery over self. You will never rise higher than your willingness to be ruled by purpose instead of pleasure, vision instead of feelings, obedience instead of excuses. Discipline is not your enemy. Discipline is your escort into greatness. When you embrace discipline, you don't just change what you do, you change who you are becoming. And who you are becoming is greater than anything you are leaving behind. You can't conquer what you refuse to confront. The truth is, many people spend their entire lives running from themselves. They run from their fears, they run from their insecurities, they run from the mirror that keeps trying to show them what must be changed. But you must understand, the longer you refuse to confront what is broken within you, the longer you will stay bound by it. There is no enemy more dangerous than the one you are unwilling to acknowledge. Self-awareness is not a weapon formed against you. It is a tool crafted for you. It is not an insult to your character. It is an invitation to build your character. Until you are brutally honest with yourself, you will continue to sabotage your own future and call it bad luck. You must have the courage to sit in the silence and ask yourself hard questions. Why do I keep repeating the same mistakes? Why do I keep choosing comfort over growth? Why do I run at the first sign of difficulty? Why do I shrink when I should be standing? These are not questions that weaken you. These are questions that forge you. Growth does not happen by accident. It happens by confrontation. You cannot transform a life you are afraid to inspect. As long as you avoid your own reflection, you will keep blaming people, blaming circumstances, blaming environments for a life you were always meant to take ownership of. Your strengths, your weaknesses, your patterns. These are not mysteries. They are realities. They are not your enemies. They are your starting points. Knowing where you are strong teaches you where to build. Knowing where you are weak shows you where to fortify. Knowing your patterns reveals where you must disrupt cycles and create new disciplines. You cannot change what you are not willing to face. And you cannot fix what you are not willing to find. Destiny demands clarity. And clarity begins with self-awareness. Self-awareness is a gift, not a curse. It is the light that exposes the darkness that is trying to silently dominate your life. It is the mirror that tells you not what you want to hear, but what you must hear if you want to win. And understand this, if you do not rule your inner world will rule you. Unchecked pride will keep you stuck. Hidden fear will keep you silent. Untamed insecurity will make you silent. Plus, but when you choose to become aware, when you choose to see yourself clearly, you rip the power from the forces that once controlled you in secret. You were never called to live bound by invisible chains. You were never meant to be a prisoner of habits you refuse to recognize. There is greatness inside of you, but greatness is not activated by fantasy. It is activated by truth. And truth begins with awareness. So stop running. Stop hiding. Stand tall. Look inward and declare, I will not fear what I find in me, because I was born to rule over it. Conquer yourself. See yourself. And when you do, no circumstance, no betrayal, no setback will ever have the power to defeat you again. You were never created to be ruled by fear, by anger, or by discouragement. You were created to rule over them. You were designed to live from a place of dominion, not from a place of defeat. But if you do not recognize the true role of your emotions, they will build a prison around your potential. Fear will chain you, anger will blind you, discouragement will silence you. Emotions are powerful passengers, but they are dangerous drivers. They were never meant to take the wheel of your life. They are signals to acknowledge, not masters to obey. They are indicators, not instructors. When you allow your emotions to govern your decisions, you surrender your future to momentary feelings. Feelings are real, but they are not reliable. They are loud, but they are not leaders. Every great destiny was delayed or destroyed, not by enemies from the outside, but by emotions that were left unchecked on the inside. You must master your emotions if you intend to master your momentum. You cannot afford to live based on how you feel. You must live based on what you know. You must live by vision, not by reaction. If you do not control your emotions will control your energy, your decisions, your relationships, and eventually does not take commands from the subjects. A king does not take commands from the subjects. A leader does not take orders from the noise. And you were created to lead your life, not to be led by the fleeting storms of temporary feelings. Victory is not found in pretending you don't feel fear or anger or sadness. Victory is found in refusing to let those emotions sit on the throne of your life. Fear may knock, but it cannot enter unless you open the door. Anger may rise, but it cannot rule unless you hand over the crown. Discouragement may whisper, but it cannot define you unless you give it your voice. You have the authority to stand. You have the power to choose your response. You have the right to feel emotions, but you also have the responsibility to rise above them. Because when emotions drive, they crash. When you drive, they cooperate. Emotions should inform you, but never imprison you. They should help you sense danger, recognize passion, feel compassion. But they should never dictate your faith, your obedience, or your pursuit of your destiny. Every time you choose vision over emotion, you strengthen your spirit. Every time you respond with discipline instead of reaction, you fortify your character. Every time you rise above the storms within, you prepare yourself for the victories without. You cannot stop the waves of feeling, but you can learn to surf them, to channel them, to use them as fuel rather than chains. Master yourself, and you will master your journey. The moment you stop letting emotions dictate your destiny is the moment you step into the power you were born to walk in. Because true strength is not the absence of feeling. It is the ability to lead yourself through the feeling with purpose, with clarity, and with unshakable resolve. Your mind is a garden. Whether you realize it or not, you are planting seeds in it every single day. Every conversation you entertain, every video you watch, every book you read, every thought you dwell on, it is a seed. And whatever you plant, you will eventually have to live with the harvest. You cannot sow seeds of fear and expect to reap a life of confidence. You cannot sow seeds of bitterness and expect to walk in joy. You cannot allow negativity, gossip, doubt, and mediocrity to flood your mind and then wonder why your dreams are suffocating under the weight of anxiety and regret. Your mind is not just a playground, it is a battlefield, it is a construction site, it is the very soil where your destiny is being built or buried. What you feed your mind will either free you to become everything God designed you to be, or it will finish you before you ever even get started. Garbage in, garbage out. Excellence in, excellence out. It is an unbreakable law, just like gravity. You don't rise to the level of your hopes. You fall to the level of your preparation. And your preparation begins in the private places of your mind. That's why you must guard it ruthlessly. You must patrol the borders of your thoughts like a soldier on assignment, because there are forces working overtime to plant weeds in your garden. Seeds of insecurity, seeds of compromise, seeds of giving up too soon. And if you're not vigilant, those seeds will take root and start choking the very life out of the greatness inside you. You must understand that the quality of your life is a direct reflection of the quality of your thoughts. If you want to change your life, you must first change your mind. That is why successful people are not just disciplined in their actions, they are disciplined in their thinking. They don't allow just anything to enter the gates of their mind. They are careful what they listen to, careful who they listen to, careful what they expose their spirit to, because they know the mind is not neutral. It is not passive. It is powerful. It is constantly shaping, building, producing outcomes. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the architect of your thinking, and your thinking is building the life you see. If you want to harvest power, faith, destiny, and excellence, you must sow them deliberately every single day. You must speak life over yourself even when you feel weak. You must rehearse the promises of God even when circumstances seem to say otherwise. You must meditate on excellence even when the world around you is drowning in mediocrity. Your future does not start when you get a new job or when someone finally recognizes your value. Your future starts the moment you take authority over what is planted in the soil of your mind. Protect it at all costs. Cut off toxic conversations. Turn off voices of defeat. Drown out the noise of fear with the sound of faith. If it doesn't build you, if it doesn't stretch you, if it doesn't align with the vision God put inside you, it has no place in your garden. You owe it to your destiny to be ruthless about what you allow to grow. Because ultimately, you are not just guarding your mind, you are guarding your future. You are guarding your legacy. And you are guarding the person you were born to become. You were born to rule. But rulership starts with ruling yourself. Stop waiting for the world to change. Start becoming the kind of person who changes the world. Overcome your fears. Overcome your doubts. Overcome your laziness. Overcome your excuses. Because when you overcome yourself, you'll overcome everything.